Gary, how's it going? Linda, how you doing? Kevin? Kathleen? Yeah. Facebook has been deleting our live chats, uh, and they're censoring me. It's ridiculous. And they never even gave me a notice this last time. They're really got the pressure on them right now. I think big things are coming between now and the end of the year for these social media companies. I think President Trump's about ready to drop the hammer on them. Yeah, and it looks like Bull Pony may have been right. Dow was down. Well, I'll get into it here when I start. I don't want to get ahead of myself. A lot going on in the economy. I'll give it a few seconds here. All right. Kathleen bought Litecoin today. Good job. Rita, Mike, how you guys doing? What's already going down in other countries? Oh, you mean the economy? Yeah, it's guys. This is James. How you doing? Yeah, wear your mask, Kevin. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and get started. Swampwatch, 11/20/19. Uh, the market was down like 112 today, I think. Um, and then just before I came on, the futures market is down like 120 points and dropping. And when it's at this time of the day and it's over 100 points and still dropping, I think tomorrow could be a huge day. Um, so anybody who wants to make any last minute purchases, Mike bought some more silver today. Good job, Mike. Um, yeah, do it tonight because if this futures, the times when it's running like this at this time of the day, it usually means tomorrow is going to be a big down day. So and there's a lot of people are really spooked about the China deal. Go figure. That's what they're spooked about. Um, Gary's got more silver day. Good job, guys. So uh, Bull Pony is dead on. You know, 19th down, 20th down. Looks like it's going to be down bigger tomorrow. And it's like every day it's a little bit worse than the day before. Tomorrow might be the big run up or a big run up of probably several coming over the next month. Anyway, guys, just the whole um, climate the financial climate around the world is bleak. Um, the economies all around the world are falling apart as we speak. And then on top of that, you've got like a big report comes out that alleges that Russian oligarchs laundered 860 million through Swedbank. Um, and the other one is the big one. There's an indictment in the Ukraine linking the Obama administration to $7.4 billion in laundered money through the Ukraine. Biden's take, 16.5 million. This is all coming out, guys. Anything that you don't want to lose, you need to get out of the banks, because this is so precarious. This literally could happen where we wake up tomorrow and the banks are closed. That's how desperate the situation is right now. So it's up to you guys. You know, I personally, by the end of tonight, I'll have less than $100 in my account, and I will keep it, or in that couple of hundred level until we hit this thing, because I don't want to lose any more than that. And then I've got everything else is outside the system, in my ledger at Coinbase. Silver is well hidden off site. But anything in stocks, anything in bonds, anything in money markets, anything in pensions that you can get out, or insurances that you could cash in, you got to do it now. Yeah, and that's why they're saying we got the drop, is because the House and the Senate agreed on the bill to support the Hong Kong protesters. It's really meaningless. If these guys wanted to help, they'd be over there negotiating with the Chinese government to start to make a commitment to start weaning away from socialism, communism. That's the only thing that's going to work. That's where Russia, write this down, in less than 10 years, both China and Russia will be probably constitutional republics, just like us. Within 10 years or less. Within 10 years, basically, communism will be dead around the world. Probably less than 5. Because with what's going on in Venezuela right now, and us crushing the deep state and the globalist agenda, there won't be anybody around to push that crap. Because anybody who's educated will never support socialism. It is socialism, communism has accounted for more deaths than any other, by far, than any other political system in history. We're talking millions. I think it could be close to 100 million people when you take all of what happened in Cambodia and Laos and China, around the world, obviously Germany, Armenia. It's got to be close to 100 million people have been murdered. So and not one of them has ever survived. It's doomed to failure. There's no way it can survive. Um, shoot. Oh, Prince Andrew looks like he's retiring from public life. Um, isn't that a coincidence? You know, they fired his publicist yesterday, a day after the interviews went public, at least went public here. This is the beginning of the end for these people, for these satanic pedophiles. It's all I can't believe the amount of stuff that's coming out every single day. There's 10 stories on the pedophilia around the world. And how it's not just the pedophilia, but how it's connected with like the royal family and the Vatican and different governments, including ours, around the world. It's all coming out, and now that you can't. You know, I used to every week or so, I'll go through and I'll send, you know, over a couple of days, I'll send my whole friends list new invites, right? 2 months ago, I was getting probably 5% return or less as far as the people that were accepting the invites for the Watchman page. Now it's 20 to 30% now. That's how much the interest has gone up. So I would recommend that you guys do the same thing with your friends list. Everybody knows you can go to the Watchman page and there's a little blue invite button on the top right. If you click that button, all of your friends will come up and you can invite them to the Watchman page. I would recommend all the members. That's probably one of the most important things you can do. We've been talking about, you know, how you can red pill, how you can get through to your friends, that we've got to do it now. Time's running out. That's probably the easiest thing you can do, because it's a lot easier for them to watch some live chats or some of the things that we post as far as the articles and the videos to help get them up to speed. So getting them on the Watchman page is going to be the easiest way to red pill them. So definitely I would start attacking your friends list and start inviting them. Doesn't hurt anything. All they can do is say no, right? Or you know, whatever. It's not, there's nothing lost. It takes you, you know, I could go through the whole 5,000 person list in 20 minutes, probably, maybe less. So definitely take a shot. It's good timing. Stocks and bond yields drop as the trade deal evaporates. Everybody has been making way too big a deal. The trade deal is really irrelevant as far as our economy goes. There's no reason for this to be having an impact. Anybody who's this is what's impacting their buying decisions is an idiot, because it is meaningless. The things they're negotiating wouldn't really come into effect until next year anyway, and we're not going to get to next year. So it's just like we talked about. If your big cause, the things that you're working on, like voter fraud or Second Amendment violations or First Amendment violations, Uh, anything to do with banking, anything to do with the stock market, anything to do with government regulations, Agenda 21, all could be wiped out, guys. The most important thing we could be doing right now is red pilling our friends. I'm telling you, this is going to be the key for a lot of people. I was talking to somebody the other day, about, the process of waking up, and that, getting into this satanic pedophilia, right? And how hard it is and how horrible it is. And I said to her, well, doesn't it make more sense? Wouldn't you rather get it now when we've got a little bit of breathing room here and we have time, and as opposed to the banks closed, rioting on the streets, you run out of food, you lose your job. That's when it's going to be really difficult. And that's what's going to multiply the high volume of cognitive dissonance, is that not only do you have all of this, what people are going to perceive in it, there's no way to sugarcoat this. It's horrific what's coming out. But it had to happen so that we can get rid of these people. Same with the banks and the economy. It's scary. It sounds scary, but if you're listening and you've done what we have recommended, you're going to be 5-10 times ahead of where you would have been if we'd have kept going down this road. A lot of people are going to be 100 or 1,000 times ahead. The ones that have really got into this and have really stacked their silver and their Litecoin. If you have 100 Litecoin, just think about that. If I'm half right or 30% right, and they're only worth $1 million, that's $100 million. I know these numbers sound crazy, but look back at the people who got in an Apple on the ground floor. We are getting into Litecoin on the ground floor. There's 84 million Litecoin. There's 7.5 billion people in the world. And there's around 65 million of them are already sold. So there's about 20 million left with a population of 7.5 billion. A good part of that population is in Asia. In Asia, they love cryptos. America better get on the ball here, because Asia's ready to pounce. When this thing starts to go south, that 20 million could be gone in hours. There's going to be a lot of money, in that short period of time. I'm talking about hours, in the first few hours of this thing. The people who have their cash out of everything else on the sidelines will be making buys the minute they see something. If you're 5 minutes late, you might be way too late. In other words, you're not going to be able to get anything, Litecoin or physical silver. So tonight, first thing in the morning, tonight is when, if you've got the means, some funds available, you should be on the internet tonight, opening your account with Coinbase and getting on with one of the bullion places, SD or JM. I'll post everything again tonight, all the websites. It's close, guys. Don't miss out. Like I said, all those people that got in the ground floor are billionaires today. And we're looking at a situation that is going to be fueled by the biggest, well, and the first ever worldwide economic collapse. So it's going to be like Apple on steroids, supercharged with these prices. Um, and remember, guys, this isn't about the love of money. Money is a tool to us. It's going to allow us to take care of our families and also pay it forward. We've talked about this. You know, I don't sell anything. I don't have any subscriptions. I don't accept donations. The only thing I ask is that you guys, if you make anything off of what you're learning here, is that you pay it forward. You take a portion of whatever you make and you find, and what I like to see people do is do it yourself. Don't donate to one of these phony charities. Take it yourself and give it to someone in need in your community. That's what makes the most sense. And trust me, for the next maybe even year or two, as we go through this process, there's going to be a lot of people in need, and there's probably going to be a shortage of government assistance for a while. And of course, a lot of these charities are going to go by the wayside because some of the stuff that's coming out about, you know, and what have been like well-respected, well-established charities, and you find out about some of the stuff they're involved in. The Red Cross. I wouldn't give the Red Cross a penny. You should wait till you hear about the stuff that comes out about the Red Cross. And you know, United Way, the breast cancer, what is that, pink deal? They're all scams. They're all scams to bleed us dry, thinking we're doing something good, and they're taking that money and the majority of it, the huge majority of it, they're pissing away on who knows what. The Clintons, I think it was 5 or 10% of the billions donated ever got to the streets. Ridiculous. So, be thinking about that now. What you'd like to do. It's a great feeling, guys. I think I talked about that. Stock and bond yields drop because of the trade deal scare. Israeli airstrike on Damascus kills 23. There, you know, it's more of the globalist agenda. They're trying to start World War III. That's what's going on there. You've got deep state assets in Syria shooting rockets at Israel to create a war. Now, I don't, you know, you can't blame Israel for shooting back at the people that are shooting at them. And they're saying it looks like maybe all 23 are Iranians. Well, if they're Iranians, what does that tell you? They're deep state assets. They're not really Iranians. They're working basically for our shadow government. Israel knows that. I think pretty much everybody in the world knows it by now. And they're not going to get anything started. It's horrible for the people that are there going through this, but there's not going to be any big wars. There's not going to be, certainly not going to be any nuclear exchanges. And if anyone gets out of line, China, Russia, and the United States will pounce on them. That won't be allowed because everybody understands what's going on. Okay. Oh, the FBI is going to be interviewing the whistleblower. They're going to treat this, I think, as a conspiracy to commit treason. This was completely 100% a fabricated event, and they got nothing. How do you attempt to impeach the President of the United States with no evidence? And when you lied about the evidence, Adam Schiff could be executed just for this event. I'm telling you right now, that guy, he'll have 10 capital crimes. He'll be indicted on at least 10 death penalty charges. He's a dead man walking. I mean, all of those people, those upper echelon, Pelosi, Schumer, Feinstein, Comey, Holder, Yates, Brennan, Clapper, McCabe, Strzok, all of them will have multiple capital charges. In other words, charges that the penalty's death. Hillary Clinton, Obama might have 10 or 15. These people were arrogant. They didn't think that we were smart enough to pull this off. And look where they are now. I just saw this real quick. Mike's talking about carbon 60 to Cheryl. I've been on carbon 60 for almost 5 years now, I think. When I started it, I'm 64. I rodeoed for 40 years. I've broken, 15 plus bones in my body. I've had that many surgeries at least. My knees were horrible. I couldn't, walking downstairs or on gravel or uneven ground, they killed me. After 6 weeks, so this has been 5 years now. 6 weeks after I started taking carbon 60, the pain was gone. I can run again. And it's been 5 years of no pain. So you get carbon 60, get it at Amazon. It's like $18 a bottle for a 100 ml bottle. That lasts you 1 week. So for about $80 a month, you can take this stuff, and it's the most amazing supplement I've ever used. And, go on YouTube and look at some of the studies. Pretty amazing stuff. I'm going to get to the questions in a second before I get sidetracked and miss something here. Okay, let's go through. Yeah, so we got company coming tonight from Utah, a whole slew, like 5 nieces and nephews. Last night the water heater goes out, and we knew that our dryer was shot, and then the washer went out. So today I've been running around and got everything lined up, so it's here tonight. So once they get here, everything's good. So it's been kind of a hectic day. Anyway, yeah, so for everybody, from now on, I plan on doing a live chat every night, 5 p.m. Pacific. If you don't get a notice and you want to see it live, go to the Watchman page at 5 o'clock and just scroll down. I'll be there. Might be my wife's phone, might be my phone, but I don't have, through Christmas, I plan on going every night at 5. Um, so don't look for the notices. Just go to the page. And you can always watch it later, right? If you want to watch it recorded, it's not a big deal. You can go back whenever you want. But if you want to see it live, definitely just show up to the page. Yeah. Litecoin, when you tell people in 5 years that you paid, $55 for Litecoin, because by then it's going to be in the millions. Chad, how you doing? Yeah, central bank in Iran. They burned that a couple of days ago. Yeah, and it's uh, Iran is burning right now, and they're trying to claim through their Iranian news agency that there's just a big snowstorm there, and it's kind of shut everything down. Yeah, right. It's happening around the world, guys. There must be, I don't know, 15 or 20 countries right now that there's massive civil unrest around the world. Yeah, yeah, I forgot that, Kathy. Yeah, the owner of Burisma was arrested today. Just think, guys, not going to be long. Oh, what I do here? Which one is it? That one? That one? That one? Okay. Yeah, China yapping. It doesn't mean anything. Um, Listen, this thing's going south no matter what happens with the China trade deal. Right now, all that is smoke and mirrors covering all the other stuff going on that they don't want you looking at. But as far as what it really means to the world, it's irrelevant. James got another 10 cases of water. Good job. Awesome, guys. Get ready. Yeah, and anybody that can buy bulk ammo through the mail, like we can't do it here in California, but there's a site here that James just posted. Definitely look at stuff like that. You can save a lot of money on ammo as far as like buying it from Walmart or somewhere. You definitely want to go to an ammo supply place. Yeah, you guys got to have you want to be able to protect yourself, guys. This is why what we're going through over the next year is why the Second Amendment was written. Exercise your right to defend yourselves. Gary's got a well. Yeah, the swamp draining is coming. That might be actually because of the timing. Listen, I've been saying we're up against the Pfizer report coming out. We've talked about that they have to do this. They can't put the report out and not arrest somebody within a day or two. Well, we know that the Horowitz is testifying on the 11th of December. You got to expect that they're going to want this report out there for a week or so before he testifies. Now that's if they really release it. We'll have to see. But if they stick to what they say is going to happen, they'd have to start arresting people, you know, no later than the first week in December. And if you remember what we said, once the swamp starts to drain, I guarantee you 100% the economy will collapse because the deep state will not allow themselves to be taken down without shooting their final bullet. And the final bullet is the takedown of the economy. They control the takedown. I mean, and the problem is the economy's so weak, there's probably 50 entities out there that could collapse the economy. So, but certainly the deep state is not going to allow themselves to go down without shooting that last shot. And so, and maybe that's what's going on right now. You know, maybe they know it's coming. Maybe this already started with what's going on in the Ukraine. And so they're pulling the plug now, which correlates perfectly with what Bull Pony's been saying. And the other thing I'm going to recommend, guys, don't pay your bills until you get to the last day, right? Don't pay your bills early because at some point they're going to declare a reset. And when that happens, the most likely end scenario is all debt's going to be wiped out. That's going to happen at some point. Whether it happens early in the next 3 or 4 months, it's certainly going to happen in the next 12 to 18 months. We won't get through this thing until a reset is declared because there's no way to unravel this. We can't fix this. There's no repair that can be made here. You know, we're going to have to wipe it all clean and start over. And you know, I believe President Trump is going to be on the same page. He's a master. If you look at his business history, he's filed bankruptcy 2 or 3 times. And that's basically what's happening here. You know, one of two things happens. We just, you know, take the shortest cut to make this the least stressful for the population and do a reset up front, or we fumble around for a year and a half until we get to the point that we end up having to do the same thing. There's no way around it. You can't unravel this mess. And it's just a matter of how much time do we waste until we come to that. And hopefully with President Trump, it's going to be early on. Yeah, extra ammo, medical supplies. Yeah, Cheryl, listen, this is it. $20 invested in Litecoin tonight most likely will net you $1 million in 5 years. So it's not like you have to put tens of thousands of dollars on this to get a return. I would put as much as you can comfortably, but you don't have to put even $100. I mean, I would recommend put as much as you can. But I'm saying don't be discouraged if you only have $20 or $30 or $50. That could be life-changing. I'll guarantee for most people, $50 invested in Litecoin tonight will more than make up for anything you lose in the decreased value in your home and whatever you lose in your pension or your bank accounts. Because very few people today have $1 million or $2 million in their pension funds and in their homes in equity. Everybody's pretty much bled out. So for you to, you know, be able to put $50 in that's going to make you $2 or $3 million in 5 years. Listen, even if you think it's a gamble, It's the best gamble you'll ever take in your life. And trust me, if you pass, you're going to kick yourself in a couple of years when you see what happens. So don't procrastinate. Don't miss this opportunity. You know, the Bible says what's been stolen from us will be returned sevenfold. I think, listen, for 5 years, God's been telling me about Litecoin and physical silver. There's a reason he's been telling me this. 100% of our liquid assets are invested in Litecoin and physical silver. I sold Bitcoin 2 years ago when it was at 20 grand so I could buy more Litecoin. It's the greatest opportunity, the greatest financial opportunity in history. Not in our lifetimes. In the history of the world, this is the greatest financial opportunity. Don't miss out. You'll kick yourself for the rest of your life if you do. Lisa, no, I didn't see that. Are you talking about in Iran, Lisa? You're welcome, Cheryl. Yeah. Listen, I've paid as much as like 250 for Litecoin. So to be able to get it now at 55 or whatever it is tonight, it's a bargain. And just think about this. You invest $50 and you make 3 million. Tell me any time in your life where you've ever had an opportunity like this. You can't. Yeah, Q is a worldwide phenomenon. Yeah, that was a long time ago, Mike. That was like in the first 40 days. Yeah, we're like 13 months or something now. I figured out we probably have close to 400 hours of live chats recorded. That's a lot of recording in a year, just over a year. Yeah, JC's gone a route that I used to have a reloader. He's reloading his own ammo. To me, there's so many other things. I think that's great for people that want to go that route. But I was buying like 5.56 for the AR. It was 225 for 500 rounds. You can't hardly load it for that, and of course, all the time savings and whatever. So it's if you like that stuff, I definitely recommend reloading. But the problem with that is obviously you got to bug out. You're not taking it with you. And I think everybody should have, like 500 rounds, I think, minimum. For whatever your main battle rifle is, if it's an AR, an AK, whatever you're shooting as your main defensive rifle, I would recommend at least 500 rounds. And if shotgun, I think, is a 12 gauge pump or semi-auto. High capacity, 8-10 rounds. 12 gauge double odd buck. I think we got like 500 rounds of that, and whatever your handgun is, You probably want 500 rounds of that. What I'd recommend. I don't think we're ever going to have to use it, but you don't want to run out of ammo if you need ammo, right? Um, how's it going, Joan? Yeah, Jody, JC's got a good trick here. Um, oh, and I want to mention too, Mike produces, actually makes colloidal silver. Colloidal silver is, I think it's basically distilled water that's processed to put the silver into the water, and it's like a natural antibiotic, um, and it's relatively inexpensive. And Mike makes it. I think it's like half what you'd pay for it like a GNC. So everybody should have some of this stuff in their house as part of their medical supply, because if this thing goes worst case scenario, you're not going to be able to depend on pharmacies and doctors. So having stuff like that definitely is it makes a lot of sense. Carolyn, how you doing? Lisa, how are you? Yeah, and JC, also you can cast your own bullets too. Um, if you know what you're doing. Okay, guys, that's all the questions for tonight. Uh, like I said, we got company coming, so I'm going to wrap this up. Um, Remember, there's nothing to fear, and you really got to emphasize that when you're talking to newbies, because the first thing when they hear worldwide financial collapse and banks closing and Obama and Clinton being arrested, you start to see their eyes get wide. Um, all of this has to happen for the world to change. We cannot keep going down this road. We're finished as a country and as a civilization. We're done if we don't take these monsters down. It's them or us. This is the ultimate battle of good and evil. Um, but it's positive. It's all good. You just got to be careful how you present it to people. It's best to do it face to face, because you kind of see it by their expression, how they're taking it. But do what you can do. Be positive. Really push the unity. Trust me, when the pedophilia is exposed, the world's going to unite around President Trump, because they're going to fully understand at that point why they have been attacking him, because they knew what he was going to do. He's going to be a hero worldwide. Um, this movement is growing. It's happening right now. Don't miss the boat. Get on Coinbase. Get on with one of the bullion companies. Get your silver. Get your Litecoin. Food, water, medical supplies, ammo. Don't wait, guys. I'm going to end it there. Remember, fear not. God and President Trump are still 1,000% in control. See you tomorrow night at 5. God bless.